It's one of my favorite times of year called Get a Week Off from College. But in all seriousness, Halloween represents a lot more than just dressing up. It's about going out and trick-or-treating, throwing a party. You know what? Halloween kinda sucks this year. Come to think of it, there really aren't any options for celebrating, except for a video for Halloween. So in the spirit of Halloween, these are just a few creepy things I came across during my 3 AM escapades in Wizard101. If you were to venture forward to the world known as Mushu, deep within the Tree of Life you will find the Death Oni at the very last stage of the dungeon. However, if you decided not to confront the final boss there, and for whatever reason, peek towards the right of the platform you're standing on, you find that there are two eerie ghost faces staring back at you. Another boss in this world known as Tomato, Tomugawa Tomagachi, shares the same exact stage. The only difference is that it's called the Spirit Realm, or world. Now, I don't know what the this is, or why it's there, but one thing's for certain, it's unexpected. However, what's unique and interesting about this specific entity is that no matter where you are in the room, it will always stare back at you. This technique is known as billboarding in video games. Think of classic Doom and how the sprites always seem to face you, or it's kinda like the same effect in old horror movies, where the eyes of paintings or statues seem to follow the protagonist's every move. The ghost faces seem to be on a timer and appears only to show up for 7 seconds with a 23-second cooldown. After doing a little digging online, it seems that they can be somewhat related to a pillar found in the same exact room. It is the only lit pillar going from a yellow and orange flame to a blue one. Now, there are 3 possible conclusions that we can draw from this. Either it's an intended prop to scare people, it's an Easter egg resembling the statue of Slytherin from Harry Potter, or it's a scrapped object placed under the world due to lack of resources and time. Whatever it is, we will likely never know. Anyway, to add on to the fear factor, while I was testing, I found that if you left only the sound effects on and approached the outer edge of the platform near the Death Oni, all sound would cease playing, except for your footsteps, oddly enough. About 8 years ago, KingsIsle released a bundle named the Dino Bundle. It contained gear, pets, and most importantly, the Pyramid of the Lost Horizons. According to rumors, at around midnight Eastern time down in the catacombs of the house, a ghostly figure resembling a girl shows up dressed in a random assortment of clothing. It does not move or interact with anything around it. At the time, this sparked a huge debate on the Wizard101 Central forums, whether it was real or not, spanning a total of 50 pages worth of information. Now, some people might say this is all a bunch of shit, saying ghosts aren't real. To be fair, they probably aren't. Virtual ghosts do exist though. I see virtual ghosts every day. It's called being a gamer and having no friends. Anyway, while there is no evidence to support the claims of the actual ghost sightings, and even KingsIsle outright saying that it doesn't exist, to this day it remains one of the most creepy and interesting Wizard101 tales or creepypastas. Maybe I'll touch more on this topic later in the future. In April of 2012, a thread was posted on the Wizard101 Central forums titled Creepy House Voice. In the thread, it mentioned a few select areas such as the Wizard City Library, the Great Citadel, and the Dragon's Mouth Cave. According to the thread, players heard whispers or voices saying find something that can't be found, or something did this to me in these areas, if they turned the game music all the way down with the sound effects up. It's kinda creepy if you think about it, since it's a game for all ages. Keep in mind, this was 8 years ago, so everything could have changed quite a bit, especially with the audio and sound effects. So, to hear if this was all true or not, I tested a couple areas in Wizard101 to try and hear the voices. After an extensive investigation of ear blasting, I have concluded that the voices don't appear. In researching, I only found one clip of the audio back in 2012. And even hearing that, I couldn't hear jack shit. Now, it could be speculated that there were no voices and people were just hearing what they wanted to hear. Except not to levels involving death, of course. It's either that or I can't hear right no more. The tower defense-based game GRUB Guardian was made by KingsIsle, where players use their in-game pets on Wizard101 and other school towers to defeat the waves of oncoming enemies. The minigame featured many notable worlds in Wizard101. Some were free and others could have been purchased for in-game currency to play on. In its current state, it remains broken on some platforms and browsers. A couple years ago, if you were to play this minigame on a map that was purchased without logging in, the selected map would glitch out. The reason for this is unknown, but what's creepy about it is the creatures that came out in waves. Instead of the usual cartoonish animal creatures, these humanoid figures with big heads would come out. Unfortunately, this was later patched out because throughout the years it has never appeared again. However, on rare occasions now, remnants of these figures still remain. Recently, the game has stopped working for some people, and surprisingly, these humanoid figures have resurfaced. The maps though seem to be long gone. I'm sure they still might exist in the files of the game, but like Ghost Girl, maybe I'll revisit this in the future. In the early days of Wizard101, a myth spell known as Orthrus had a moon. But not just an ordinary moon, but one that had a relatively disturbing face on it. What was disturbing was that the face didn't fit into the cartoonish style of Wizard101. The face was later removed in an update in 2017. Now what's strange was that the face was just added back into the fall test realm of 2020, which is a 3-year difference, but the question remains was why did they remove it just to add it back? Alright, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If there was a scary mystery or discovery you found that wasn't here, share it down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribing is just a click away. If you would like to see me play other games and stream, check out my other channel called Froggys 2. So with that, take care and have a happy, safe Halloween.